Going underground, going underground. Good morning, folks. It's my last day in Cappadocia, and today I'm taking 2 buses south of the city to visit not 1 but 2 underground cities. Now the first thing I need to do is get on the bus to Nevsa here and ask the driver to drop me off at another bus stop where I can get the bus to the first of the 2 underground cities that I'm going to visit. The driver didn't forget me. He told me to get off here and wait for the bus which will take me down to the underground city. Now I'm surrounded by food places, kebabs and all kinds of things, and I've not had anything to eat yet, so the smell is making me very, very hungry. But I've no idea what time this bus is going to arrive, so I'm going to have to wait until I get to the underground city and hope that there's some food options around there. I think this part of the journey should be okay. The hardest part is going to be getting from here to Goreme, because that's what I struggled the other day when I got dropped off here for some reason by the coach company. The buses to Goreme don't actually leave from the bus station, so you just got to wander around and find it basically. And the bus stops don't say anything about the bus to Goreme either. It's not easy. I've just actually found a timetable, and the bus to the underground city doesn't actually leave while 12, which gives me 25 minutes. So might as well have a kebab. In 1963, a local gentleman was remodelling his home when he discovered what he thought was an ancient well. It turned out it was one of many entrances to a vast underground city. The underground city was 8 levels deep and had churches, horse stables, wine cellars, and was big enough to home 20,000 people. During many invasions over the centuries, the local people simply dug themselves to safety. There are many underground cities in this area. This one is thought to be the biggest. Right, here we are then, the entrance to the underground city. It's thought that the first people, the upper levels, were actually formed or made sometime between the 17th and the 12th century BC. So there is a guided path. You've got to follow the red arrows. They're not easy to spot, but to the left and right of all these spaces that would have been people's homes. Up to 20,000 people lived in this underground city. Wow, this is not even, oh, mind your head. So this is not part of the actual guided route around. This is just one of the kind of side caves, I guess, for want of a better word. And this, believe it or not, was the kitchen. This area here was used for food storage. The people in front of me appear to be lost and can't find their way down to the next part. These red arrows are not easy to find. Ah, here we go. That's what we're looking for. This here is a tunnel to God knows where. So these underground cities would only be worthwhile if they were actually safe. So what they actually had on all of the entrances is these stone doors. Look at the size of that thing. So it would take groups of people to roll this across to cover the entrance, and they'd also have these holes here so they could see and make sure that it was clear and the enemy had disappeared. Right, let's go further in. So now we're entering the second level underground.
Be careful.
It's crazy. Imagine living down here. Wow. Down again. This would have been, again, just someone's sleeping quarters. I guess, in some ways, it was advantageous sleeping up here, because obviously you didn't have to go all the way to the bottom. But the problem is, if you were attacked, you were the first people that the attackers would discover. So here we have another one of these stone doors. That's going to weigh a ton. So it would take plenty of people to push this across, to block this tunnel. If you suffer from claustrophobia, this might not be the best place to visit. And also you have to crouch down really low. I'm surprised they don't give helmets, because I've banged the top of my head many times. I'm using my sunglasses to protect my head. Okay, so here we have the underground church, which just shows how long people lived down here, that they would build a church so they could worship. Obviously, they couldn't leave. They had animals down here, they had horse stables, they grew food down here, and they even buried their dead down here. Well, my legs are definitely going to ache after this. I can't actually find the next red arrow. Where do you go from here? Oh, it says this way. So it appears that you're only actually allowed to go down 3 levels. There are another 5 levels underneath this, and but this is as far down as you can get. So I'm just going to take a look down here. This is the ventilation shaft. Not a great deal to look at. Okay, so this is what I was looking at from above. So this goes all the way down. Not quite as much to explore as I was expecting. Literally the top 3 floors are the only ones that are open to the public. That's strange. And I've only been in here about 20 minutes and that's it. Imagine owning a house above this ancient city. It's been here for thousands and thousands of years, and no one knows it's there. And then one day you're doing a bit of DIY, a bit of remodelling, and you come across what you think is a well. And then on further discovery, you find an ancient underground city. This is tough going. It's actually quite big to discover on the first floor when you come back to the top. It literally is a city. You have all these kind of pathways in between. And where's this going? Oh, Jesus. You've really got to watch your head when you're walking around here. Imagine living here, not seeing daylight at all. Who knows how long people were down here for. The underground city was used a number of times over the centuries, following different invasions. Originally, more than likely, built by the Hittites. The Hittites had control of Anatolia from the 17th to the 12th century BC. And it's thought that the next group to take over were the Phrygians. Even early Christian communities who were escaping persecution by the Romans would have used this underground city. And then when Christianity was the actual official religion, it was used again to hide from numerous Muslim invasions. And even in the 13th and 14th centuries, they were more than likely used again to hide from the Mongols and the Timurids. That's the Derinkuyu underground city, and now I need to find a bus that's going to take me north, back in the direction of Goreme, to see another underground city. I have no idea when these buses are, how frequent, probably at least every half an hour. Well, that didn't take long at all. Literally 2 minutes outside the first underground city. The bus pulled up, and 15 minutes later, I'm at the second one. This is Kaymakli underground city, and this was discovered in 1964, just 1 year after the discovery of the previous underground city. Apparently, there's a big tunnel that connects the two underground cities, and the possibility that there are other underground cities in the area and that they're all connected. This huge network of underground cities. Incredible. I always have to go the opposite way. Jesus. Okay, need to look out for that. Check this out. This is the food storage. According to the sign, this is a living room. Maybe these were various sleeping quarters. There's a tunnel here, I don't know where it's going. It's the opposite direction to where the arrows are telling me to go. I guess it will bring you to more sleeping quarters. Look at this. It just goes on and on. Here's another one of these stone doors that would be used to block this entrance here. Not sure how many people lived in this one. This is smaller than the other one, which was home to approximately 20,000 people. This one feels much easier to move around. Bloody hell, what's that there? Ow! I think that's my glasses I've just smashed. I've seen so many people who have just followed the red arrows and just skipped this completely. Look at the size of it. Oh, that's put me back to where I came from. Oh dear. These would be where they placed oil lamps. Bloody hell. Oh, I'm practically down on my knees down here. It's not easy. Ignore the red arrows. Look at this. This is amazing. I think this is the best of the two, to be honest. And yeah, the other one I think is probably the most visited. It's the other one that is it the red toe or the green toe? Takes you to. But out of the two, I would definitely say this one's the best. This is the winery. So the people who lived here made wine, which would have made life a little bit more bearable, I suppose. So this is another part that isn't on the red trail. The arrows don't bring you down here. I guess because there's no way to continue. This is the ventilation shaft, and I can't actually see how high it goes. I can see how low it goes, and bloody hell, it goes very, very low. So this ventilation shaft would have served every level. Oh, bloody hell, you have to get low here. If people got sick here, then it was game over, I'm afraid. There was no hospital, but people were buried here, and I've just heard one of the guides say that they were buried in the other underground city, which is the one I've just been to. So obviously these two cities were connected, and probably all the other underground cities that are in the area. There are others that you can go and visit, and there's probably others that have not been discovered yet. Oh, got eye sweat on. These holes acted as telephones. Because of the echo, you could send a message to someone in a different cave. All of these spaces to the left and right of the stairs were living rooms. This is where the people would live. This really is an impressive place, and you can see here, this would be where they would grind spices, and this in the middle of all the living quarters would be like a dining area, and each family unit would come and sit on old Turkish rugs made out of animal skin and have their meal, and they would have an allocated time. So they would literally have, 20 minutes before they had to clear up, go back to their living quarters, and then the next family would come and spend their family time having a meal. Now it looks like we're going down to the second level. So the blue arrow is telling me to go this way, but there's also this. People just walk past. Maybe there's nothing of interest to look at down here. Maybe it's just another area similar to all the ones we've seen before. It just goes on and on. You come to a room and you think that that's it, and then you find another tunnel. And that literally goes into darkness, so I'm not going down there. I just heard one of the guides. Oh, I've got another one of these stone doors. You can't see that on the GoPro. There we go. Yeah, one of the guides just said that before they close every day, they go around every little room, every little tunnel, making sure there's no tourists got lost. Again, another living room. Check out the size of that. How many people must it take to lift that thing? It's probably the biggest one I've seen so far. So again, down here, there's more tunnels, which is off the beaten track. It's all going to be very similar. Well, that's it for Kaymakli, and that's it for my tour of the 2 underground cities north of Goreme. It's definitely worth doing. If you were going to do one, I'd choose Kaymakli. That was my favourite. It's not quite as claustrophobic as the other one, and it just seemed more interesting, more to see. I was surprised because I'd heard that this was the small of the 2, and it is the small of the 2. But in the first one, the bigger one, you only get to see like 3/4 of it anyway. So I reckon you actually see more in there than you do in the other one, which name I have obviously clearly forgotten. Begins with D. Anyway, as you'd expect, you come out and you've got all the souvenir shops. None of this interests me. What I need to do is find a bus. I'm 2 buses away from Goreme now. Hey man. So the main road is over here. I'm hoping that I don't have too long to wait. The buses down here are every hour, so I'm presuming they're every hour going back. So if I've just missed one, then I've got an hour to wait. But that doesn't matter. It'd be nice if I knew when the bus was, because if it was an hour I could just go and sit in a cafe or something. But there are no timetables on any of the bus stops, so I've just got to sit and wait. I had a later start than I wanted to be honest, today. I didn't actually get to the bus stop in Nevesia until bang on 12 o'clock. Now, what time is it now? It's 2:25. I've done both of them, so 2.5 hours and I'm done. So you can easily do both underground cities in one day. You could even head down in the afternoon and still have enough time. Can't actually see a bus stop anywhere. That doesn't really worry me too much, because if I see the bus, I just basically put my hand out. Do you never see a bus?
Yes.
Yeah, here or? Dolmuş, yeah. Right down there? Oh, here's a clip. Thank you, nice one. Well, the bus has dropped me literally right where I started. That's the kebab that I ate for breakfast just there. And the bus to Goreme leaves from here. It's now 3:15, so exactly 3 hours and 15 minutes from leaving here to getting back here after having visited 2 underground cities. I would say that's been a pretty successful day.